Welcome to Prophecy News Update. I'm Tom Gilbreath. Are you counting off the days of your imprisonment? When you are finally set free from house arrest, you may be in for a surprise. Because while you've been locked away, something happened. The great civil rights robbery of 2020. While most people were focused on important issues like health, jobs, and even toilet paper, the whole world has been changing and changing fast. The deck is being reshuffled in geopolitics, communications, in the world economy, obviously in healthcare, but even in things like family dynamics. For instance, many families that once carefully restricted their children's video game usage have given up in the face of being shut in with little to do over the course of many weeks. Just let them play and let me have some peace. Hey, I'm not judging. But the biggest changes seem to be in economics and personal freedom. No one knows now where all the cards will fall, but we know that nefarious forces are working hard to make sure that every change in the long run turns out to be a dark change. Governments the world over have been forced to flex their muscles. They had to respond to the crisis, but there is a rule of thumb we might be wise to consider. When government assumes new power during an emergency, it only partially gives back that power when the emergency ends. For example, COVID-19 has forced on us a new precedent regarding government and faith. The Bill of Rights to the U.S. Constitution begins with the words, "Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof." The founders gave priority to religious freedom. But in the current crisis, liquor stores and marijuana dispensaries have been deemed essential, while freedom of religion has been deemed of secondary importance, and in some cases even as a special danger. We all understand why it could be a danger. Handshakes, hugs, even laughing and singing together all carry the possibility of disease transmission during a pandemic. The restrictions are meant to save lives. I get it. But think about the precedent now being set. In the future, when legislatures or even bureaucrats deem church attendance dangerous, they now have a precedent for shutting it down. What if they decide that teaching kids the creation story from Genesis endangers science? Also, consider the extreme measures that some, not all, but some governments have taken against churches. In many places across America, the faithful have been threatened, bullied, attacked, fined, and even arrested for sitting in cars in a parking lot. Compare that to going to grocery stores. Last week on his Fox News television show, Tucker Carlson said, "The directive we're living under is this: stay home except to buy food. The one place you can go is the supermarket where, by the way, everyone else in your neighborhood has been this week. From an epidemiological standpoint, this is lunacy. If you wanted to infect an entire population, you would encourage everyone in a specific zip code to meet regularly in one enclosed location." Carlson is not advocating that we close grocery stores, and I certainly am not. If you want to see long lines, hoarding, and maybe even riots, just announce that we're going to close the supermarkets in a few days. Think about this. When you go to the supermarket, where are you in danger? Inside, where the people are packed together? Or outside in your car in the parking lot? You are hundreds of times, even maybe thousands of times more likely to catch the virus inside the store than while you're still in your car with the windows rolled up. I'm not talking about bringing people inside the church, but a drive-in service, carefully administered, where people are staying in their own vehicles, is obviously a low risk. Most churches went to extremes to make sure no one was exposed to a virus. Things like making it a rule that people stay inside their cars, often requiring that the windows be closed. Yet in Greenville, Mississippi, those who chose to participate in drive-in church meetings, safely staying inside their cars the whole time, were each given $500 tickets for attending church in a parking lot. That's $500 each, meaning $2,000 for a family of four. They did roll down their windows and have direct interaction with people, but not with their fellow churchgoers. They rolled down their windows and had direct interaction with the police who were representing the city. Now, these same people are allowed to go to the drive-thru at the fast food place, then sit in their car and eat the food in the parking lot. In Louisville, Kentucky, the mayor explained his prohibition of drive-in services for Easter. He said, "Think about this on Sunday morning. There would be hundreds of thousands of people driving around our community." Driving around our community? Is he telling us that he's trying to prevent car-to-car transmission of the virus? Are there known instances of people catching the virus while motoring down the parkway? Finally, a church had to sue in order to hold a drive-in service there. Thankfully, a federal judge sided with the church and with common sense. His orders stopped the city from enforcing, attempting to enforce, threatening to enforce, or otherwise requiring compliance with any prohibition on drive-in church services. Then the judge went further, saying, on Holy Thursday, an American mayor criminalized the communal celebration of Easter. That sentence is one that this court never expected to see outside the pages of a dystopian novel. He noted that drive-through restaurants were still open, and so were drive-through liquor stores. He said, "The mayor's decision is stunning, and it is beyond all reason unconstitutional." Similar things happened in places all across the country and around the world. And it's not just about church, it's about government leaders exercising power for its own sake. The mark of the beast economic system is described in the Bible as something that will happen during the tribulation period. And no, it has not yet begun. It will require a level of control never seen before, not even possible, in fact, before this point in history. The control will eliminate basic human rights, especially privacy. It will be based on surveillance. The fight against COVID-19 is tearing down those rights as never before, and not just the right to go to church. This is a global event. So here is a taste of governments run amok around the world. Apple, Google work together on technology to track the sick. Now, this doesn't immediately involve the government, but it has that potential. And if this were just a one-off thing, it might be okay, but I'm concerned that it is only the beginning. Someone might say, yes, but it makes sense. That's the thing. Every step toward the mark of the beast system will make sense. And well-intentioned as this may be, it is another step. Moscow tightens virus lockdown with digital travel permits. Chinese ban black people from hotels, apartments, restaurants. Now, that's not all of China, just one city, but it is a specific fulfillment of end-time prophecy, and it's disgusting. Electric bans for Koreans who break quarantine. These bans will work as tracking devices. Asia cracks down on virus fake news. That would be the government's version of fake news. In other words, it could be anything they don't like. India stamps people with end of quarantine date. Dubai requires police permits for leaving the house. Gorbachev, time to revise the entire global agenda. Another world leader said we need a one world government to fight future outbreaks. India says everyone in the world needs a number. Then there was the person writing an opinion piece for something called Open Democracy. The headline, "The Coronavirus Crisis Shows It's Time to Abolish the Family." It sounds crazy, but a lot of things used to sound crazy until they started happening. The world seems to be conforming itself to the agenda of a future leader known in the Bible as Antichrist. But do not let this get you down. Just realize that we're getting close. Don't be discouraged, be encouraged. Jesus said, when these things begin to happen, look up and lift up your heads because your redemption draws near. God willing, I'll see you soon.